Hey, everybody. Richie,
G'day,
Mad
mate.
Jelly. It's Maverick himself.
Boom.
That looks great.
What's happening, man?
Just lots of meetings, lots of good stuff for today's call, though. I'm excited to share it with you.
Whereabouts are you?
Right now, I am in Seattle, and I'm actually meeting up with JT tonight. We're gonna grab a brew.
Excellent. Excellent.
Yeah.
Bill,
how are you?
I'm doing good. Thank you for asking.
Awesome. Marco, good to have you here. This is my first call with Marco.
Hello. Hi. Good to be here.
Great to have you with us. Where are you calling in from, Marco?
From Portugal.
Portugal. My Portuguese brother.
Yeah.
I'm Portuguese. I'm 50% Portuguese. Did you know that?
Really? Wow. I didn't know that. Nice.
My dad is a pure Portuguese man of war. He's pure Portuguese. 100%.
Cool.
Yeah.
Have you visited Portugal?
I have, to Lisbon.
Lisbon. I live in Lisbon. Yeah.
It's one of my favorite cities. It's a beautiful country.
Okay. Next time you come, let me know.
I will. I definitely will. And I'm hoping to come out there soon, actually. So I will.
Nice.
Jill says I can't unmute or switch to video. Gonna log in. Okay, Jill, we'll be here. Richard Weiss. Weiss or Weiss? Good to have you here as well.
Yep.
Weiss.
Weiss. Herr Weiss.
Weiss. Okay. Where are you calling from, Richard?
Pinehurst, North Carolina.
North Carolina. Okay, awesome. Well, let's see. I'm excited for our call today, everybody. I have a, I don't know if you saw, did everybody see, oh, getting a phone call here. Let me turn my phone on silent. Did everybody see the recent win we got yesterday in the celebrations channel? It actually just came in yesterday. And so that's what we're going to be talking about today. Kai, could you please make me the host so I can share my screen?
Which win are you talking about? There was a couple of wins yesterday.
There was a lot of wins yesterday. We got a lot of people that are just,
Crushing it.
kicking some ass right now. Yeah. So for me, we got a win. This is a coffee company in Hawaii, Kona Coffee. And so has anybody tried Kona Coffee before? You have, Richard? Yeah, it's good stuff. Good stuff. It's the, on the Big Island of Maui, not Big Island of Maui, Big Island of Hawaii, the climate is just like perfect for coffee. And so it's just this, really special coffee. There's only so much of it. You're on an island, there's only so much space, and just produce some really, really high quality, really tasty stuff. So this client that we brought in is actually what we're going to be talking about today. And I think we have mostly everybody here, so I'm just going to get right into it. What's up, Dan? Good to see you here as well. I think Dan had some questions he wanted to break down. So we'll be, for those of you that joined for the first time with a call with me today, this is your local marketing strategy session. Tom and I, we usually rotate. Like I do 1 week, Tom does 1 week, and we go over different stuff, but this is all local marketing specific. I like to go over system strategies, SOPs, stuff like that. A lot of the stuff that's actually happening in the agency, we will break down and workshop that type of information on this call. And so usually at the end of the information I have, we will go through like a Q&A where we'll just talk about whatever I shared. And sometimes we'll have a call where we will go through our next action steps for everybody. We'll just kind of like talk to everybody, for a few minutes, see what the most important next step is for you, and give you some, some strategy as to what to do next, stuff like that. So for this one, I have some really good information. We're going to be going over a couple SOPs and just, off of something that's very, very relevant, but not before Norm joins the call. Hey, Norm, good to have you here with us. So I'm going to jump into this. So we had a recent agency win. This was yesterday, but hot off the press, no pun intended, not the French press. Kona Coffee Company. And the way that we brought this client in, for those of you that don't know, I recently sold brought in a new salesperson about 3 weeks ago. She hasn't even been with us for a full month yet. And she actually came from a competing marketing company. They got bought out, and I had come across, she had been prospecting my clients. This is really how I found her. She had been reaching out to all my clients, and not specifically my clients, but I had several that were like, that let me know that this company had contacted them wanting to do SEO and run ads, and they told her that they were working with me and they weren't interested. And so her name kept coming up, and I was like, I'm going to reach out to this person and I'm going to see what's going on here. And so I did. We had coffee. She was nice. And so it was I wasn't trying to like bring her into my company at the time. It's just, I like to do that stuff from time to time, right? I don't have a problem talking with competitors. I'm actually interested in meeting my competitors to see what they're doing, see if I can get any more information on what's going on, what's working, like, what are they seeing? I see that as like market data, So for those of you that, might see another marketing company out there, or you might cross paths with, I encourage you to be open to maybe even, talking to them. Like if you go to networking meetings and you see other marketing companies out there, those are, there's a lot of room for all of us. There are so many businesses out there that need our help. So there's no, I don't know. I just don't look at them and get spiteful or anything like that. I look at them as, ways to continue to grow. And so fortunately for me, in this situation, I did that. I had a great coffee with her. We talked a little bit and I said, if you're ever looking to go anywhere else or anything like that, let me know. I know you're happy right now, but just let me know. And so about a year later, a month ago, she hit me up and said, hey, the company I was working for is being bought out. Are you still looking for help? I was like, let's talk about it. And so, it's my understanding that the best people to actually bring into your business are generally the ones that are working at really high levels for your competitors. And it's because they know your industry, right? They know your industry, they're familiar with what you're selling. And usually it's just a case of switching out the products for a different price point. And so for me to bring her into our company, she was already selling SEO, websites, ads. I didn't even have to teach her anything about that. All I had to really do was give her the handbook in our company and bring her on to a couple of our weekly huddles. And she was pretty familiar with what we were doing, right? She already sold SEO. She already sold websites. It was no difference for her. And so she was able to come in. This is probably her 4th client now, I think, in a month. And she just does a lot of cold calling. She'll pull a list and she'll just call people, just keep calling, and she'll keep following up until she brings them in. And that's what this was. This was somebody that she followed up with 6 times before she actually brought them in. And so she sold them a website for a range for between 6,500 and 7,500, depending on how many products and how complex the products were, because it's an e-commerce website. And so, we billed for 2/3 of, I think 6,500. That's what it says there. We also offered a service where we had somebody, I met a gal recently locally in the area who's good at writing, right? She does blog content. And I asked her if she would be willing to interview some of our customers and write some website content for them. And she said, okay. And so the reason I was doing that with somebody locally is because it just, if she's calling our local clients and she says, I'm working with Nick, I want to interview you, I want to create some website content for your new website. It just gives them that good feeling of working with someone local they can trust. They know they're going to be able to represent their brand to the local market in a way that they're happy with. So we also sold that. You can see that in a little, it's really small, but just $500, not really making a lot of money there. Just a way to really overcome the obstacle of actually getting the website content for that client and keep the website project moving forward. I could arguably sell that as a service for $1,000 or something like that. But really, I'm just trying to get over that obstacle, give a little money to the girl, and keep the project going. Because, once we get the website built, she also sold about a $5,500 monthly retainer. So blended, search engine marketing, which is Google ads, right? $3,000 a month retainer, $2,000 a month SEO retainer, and then $500 a month retargeting retainer, which, as you all know, our recent launch at Offline Sharks was all about bolting on the retargeting service into other services that we're selling. And that's a great example of doing that, right? $500 a month, just like we talked about. This is an example of us doing that very thing. And so, yeah, we're gonna talk about what happens next, because this invoice was paid yesterday. You can see at the top here it says July 6th. Very, 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 very small. It was collected just yesterday. So what happens next in the agency, in the business? Because we're outsourcing everything, right? We're outsourcing everything. Our team is doing all this stuff. I didn't close the deal. I'm not going to do the work. My team's going to do it all. And I want to share with you the insights and how that works and what the next steps are. And a lot of this is already documented in your standard operating procedures. So let's dive into that. Is it okay with everybody? This is a good topic. Everybody interested in this stuff? Bill, Marco, Maverick, Richard? Okay, cool. Awesome. Any questions so far? Okay. Cool. All right, so here's what happens. When somebody does a sale, and this might be you, this was me in the beginning, right? I was doing all the sales in the beginning. It's okay to be doing the sales yourself in the beginning. There's nothing wrong with that at all. And if that is you, then great. This is going to be you sending this email. You might already have somebody that's a project manager. They might be sending this email. You might be looking to do this in the future. Doesn't matter where you're at. I'm giving you this insight because you can either use it now or you know where we're going. So what happens is whoever makes the sale is going to now hand the project off to project management, who's going to work with the fulfillment teams to actually get the website built. Who's going to be the go-between between the client and the web developer? That's our project manager. And so this is Megan, who is our salesperson. She closed that deal. So the first thing that happens is she's going to send an email to the client and to our project manager, who's attached to this email as well. So Adriana is our project manager, and she's going to include everybody on this email and say, thank you for paying the invoice. Here's our next steps. Also, Adriana is our project manager. She's going to be taking over, getting some information from you and taking the project and taking it to the next level. So does everybody see how we do that? Just by sending one email, we can alert the rest of our team. They know we have a new client. Everybody gets engaged because this is the process. Everybody knows what the standard operating procedures are. And this is how we hand it off and we start to get the ball rolling. I'm going to pull up this. There's actually an SOP for this. I'm going to pull this up. I think Kai just dropped the link for you all in the chat too, which you all already have access to this in your members area. But if you want the just the link directly, there it is. And I'm not gonna go through all of the SOP, but this basically explains what this email is all about. I'm gonna go over the email more in depth rather than the SOP. But this explains what we're collecting, what information we need from the client to get the project going, right? To start the onboarding process, because that really is the next step. Once the salesperson closes the deal, they bring in the project management, and the project management starts to have your web developer or whoever's doing the project do the work. And so if you're in the beginning, then you are doing this, you're sending the email to the client and maybe your web developer, right? Because in Remote Millionaires, one of the first things we do is we start to build a team, right? We start to build a team because when we close the deal, we have somebody to already do the work for us. That's how we do it. And so the process is exactly the same. And so for those that don't have anybody in your team doing the fulfillment yet, you don't really know what you're selling. That's why I encourage you to jump into module 1 of your members area and start to build your team. Like Richard has, like a lot of our members have that have already been here for quite some time. And then you can take part in this type of process too. So this email is pretty simple. She says, thanks for, hey client, thanks for taking the time to complete the invoices and service agreements. I have included links below for you to fill out that includes the information that will help us building out your programs. I have copied our project manager on this email. She'll be reaching out to you directly on any other details or information that she needs. I would also like to schedule a welcome call with you and our account coordinator who will be helping manage your program as well. Could you please let me know your availability, what it's like this Friday or early next week? So that's it. You know, that at that point, the person that closed this sale is basically, there's going to be a little welcome call where we introduce them to our company and say, hey, nice to meet you, Gene, and all that stuff. Just a very basic 10-minute call. But at that point, salesperson is done. They're going to go back out there and start selling. Project management, fulfillment is going to take over and start to build this campaign out, build a website, drive the traffic. We're going to do all those things that we need to do. And so in order for them to do that, the first thing that that client has to do is fill out our onboarding forms, which I've just created a bunch of new forms, all of these forms. I'm going to give you at the end of this call. I'm going to show you them on the call. I'm going to have Kai add some links to this form, to these forms for you all to make copies of for yourself. These are all Google forms. For a long time, when we were doing the onboarding and intake process, you know, it was just manual labor. This is what we need. Send us access. Here's how to do that, et cetera, et cetera. But now what we do is we send them a Google form that's like this. So like if we sell a website, what we do as soon as we get the invoice is we send this onboarding form, and it just asks them general information about their company and the project. And this information helps us to build the website. We basically give this information to the web developer so that we can translate what this customer is looking for in a website, and we can work with them to build this website that the client is looking for. So I'm going to give you all these forms. You're going to make a copy of them. You're going to use them for yourself, put your own branding on them, all that stuff. Any questions thus far? I know I'm kind of like, some of you, this might be new. Some of you, this might be right where you're at. Might be going a little fast. I just want to make sure.
Just one thing.
Everybody's-
So like, I
Sure.
mean, I don't use a lot of Google Forms, and and in New Zealand, people don't. Well, from what I've come across anyway, people don't use a lot of Google Forms. It's a very Microsoft based digital economy here, you know, where they use Excel and Word and stuff like that. So if I sent a Google form to a customer, I'd be confusing them right off the bat. Is it easy enough to translate into another type, or would I have to build it from scratch?
Well, I mean, you're going to have all the questions, right? You can have a VA go rebuild this for you. You know, put it in whatever form you want. Dennis says, what's up, Dennis? Good to see you here, by the way, Dennis. Dennis is calling from Belgium, I believe, and he just joined Remote Millionaire. So welcome, Dennis. And yeah, so Dennis is asking, is there any reason to use Google Forms instead of the form inside of Go High Level? No, not really. You can use Go High Level. I don't know, like kind of to Richard's point, right? A lot of the people we work with are more Google focused. So we just use the platform that is, you know, more familiar to everybody. High Level's nice. It works as well too. Works great. I just feel like in Google, for me and the people that we're prospecting, there's just a little less friction in the forms for intake purposes, not for leads, you know, for lead gen and all that stuff. I actually use High Level forms. So it's up to you. You can build it out however you want. And I'm going to give you these forms so you can just copy the questions and move them over. But, you know, if you're like Richard, or, you know, maybe Dennis, you know, he lives in another country too. He might, you know, be using a different form builder himself, but at least you know what questions we're asking, because these questions all have a reason, you know, and we can go through the questions, a couple of them. I'll give you some examples. You know, for the website project, we ask, what are the websites of your top 3 competitors? That's good information, right? Competitive analysis. We want to look at, if we're looking to build the website, we want to know who the best 3 top competitors are. So whatever we're building can be better than that. You know, we want to see what the baseline is in the industry. You know, what demographics do you wish to target? Please share some websites that you like in terms of visually and for functionality, and why. So if somebody sends us 3 of their competitors and 3 websites that they like the look of, that can paint a pretty clear picture of like kind of what our website is going to look like if they don't already know, right? if your client is saying, hey, I want a website to look exactly like this, well, then you know what your job is. You know what your job is. You're going to build a website that looks very similar to the example they gave you. But a lot of times they don't know exactly what they want. So it's your job to help them come up with something that they do need to want. Oftentimes it's going to be something better than their competitors and something that they kind of like the design of themselves. So that's why those three things come together to give you kind of a rough idea as to what to build. And so what we do is when I get this form and I get all the responses, right? And you can see our coffee company, Gene, he already filled it out. You know, he already filled out this form, and actually I have that in my slide, and I want to show you this stuff. Where'd my slide go? Oh, here it is. So this is the onboarding welcome email, right? And then you can see that was, I took these screenshots this morning. I built the slide presentation for you all this morning. This is all, you know, fresh. Within 2 hours, he says, all the forms are answered. All of the access is granted. Let me know how it works. I'm available Friday morning for the welcome call. You see how awesome that is in terms of like intake and onboarding? This is all we had to send to collect all this information for a website campaign, search engine optimization, Google Ads, and retargeting. We have everything we need to get the project rolling. And you know, previously this was like 30 emails back and forth. This is what we need. This is how you do it. You know, a lot of these forms, I'll give you another example. This is the form for the Google Ads. And so we are also asking for access in this form, right? Login and assets. You know, give us access to your Google Analytics. And the note here says, please grant access to the email, SEO@NickPonte. And then here's a guide. There's a link right here on how to do that. And so I can go to the guide. We have a guide on how to actually grant access. So once it's done, they click done and it's done. So by the time they get through this form, they know where they need to send access. They have a how-to guide on how to send access, and they can let us know that it's done. So there's a full feedback loop there. And by the time they get to this form, you know, we have all the information about the project. We have all the access that we need. If they need further help, then we know that we need to jump in for that. But again, you know, this is just, it's all about time. You know, from the time that this client came in as a paying customer yesterday, I actually had our weekly call right before this one with everybody on my agency team. They're already working on this right now. Like the time to get all that information and put this project into motion, it's already going. And it's one of the reasons why people like working with us. It's because, you know, we have good communication, we get shit done. And when you're a business owner and you're paying somebody to do something, that's what you want. You want stuff to get done. You want good communication. And I promise you, if you do just those things, you got good communication, and you're responsive and you get stuff done, you're gonna get a lot of customers. Richard, get your hand up.
Is it very much a case of you know, you strike while the iron's hot? You've just had what, $5,500 from this guy. You send him the stuff right then when he's paid that payment. You know, his motivation's quite high to crack on and get it moving. So, you know, if you got it around the wrong way, you'd wind up waiting on this information. Would that be the case?
Yeah, absolutely. He's engaged, especially after paying that invoice, right? He's engaged, and you want to keep that going. We want to keep that going, right? We want to get the project going. If we hit a speed bump and we're waiting on access for Google Ads or whatever, and we're not able to start, that puts us, you know, we're not going to be able to bill them again for the next cycle until we get started. You know, so it's in our best interest to keep the ball going at all times. We always want to keep it going. You know, whether that's doing search engine optimization, you know, reputation or whatever. A lot of people get caught up in just the logistics of starting these projects and collecting access and getting it all going, that, you know, they just lose momentum. So it's really important to try to keep it going. Let's see, I got some questions in here that I'm going to answer real quick. Craig says, what do you do if a lot of this information has already been talked about in the sales call? Well, then, your salesperson can do a good job of relaying that information to the rest of your team, right? That's one way of doing it. When you're doing this yourself in the beginning, like you're doing the sales and all that, you might be able to do a lot of that at the beginning. The forms really are like the higher level of getting good and systemizing and optimizing. A lot of you might not even be there yet. Some of you are there. But this is eventually everybody is going to want to have a place where they have all of this information and they can access it at all times, because sometimes a website client 3 months later will become an SEO client, and we can refer back to their onboarding form and get the information we need for the other project. Then we don't even have to bother the client. So having somewhere to go and having all this data in one place at all times is really, really good. And the form only takes 5 to 10 minutes to fill out. So Craig, I don't feel bad if my salesperson talked a lot about this stuff on the sales call. We don't feel bad about sending an onboarding form on top of that. There's nothing wrong with that. It's a professional way to do things. So I wouldn't shy away from doing that, even if it's a little redundant. Dennis says, is that page already in the agency website? You mean like the actual form there, Dennis? So this form is something that you would send separate, right? So referring back to the email that she sent, he paid the invoice, and then Megan says, thanks for paying the invoice. Here's our next steps. And then she sends the links directly to these forms. Go ahead.
Yeah, I meant the page. There's a link in the form going to a page with like, what was it? I'm not sure. It was a guide or something.
Yes, these are all, like, you're going to get all of these forms that do have these links. This is actually this how-to guide. You can switch this out. I just made my own how-to guide and posted it on my website. You can use my website if you want as the guide. That's fine. It's just like a blog article anywhere else. If you want to make your own, you can do that too. Or if you want to find another one, that's fine too. But it's already there. What you should do after you get these forms is you should go through them and just make sure, you update the information to go match your business, your branding, the way that we do access with all of our clients for, Google Analytics or Google AdWords or Google My Business. We have one email that we operate under, and it's SEO@nickponte.com. And so we always tell them, grant manager access to SEO@nickponte.com for your Google Analytics, for all those things. And that way, when we go to Google, we have all of our clients under one email address. It just makes it easy and simplified to manage those things, because you don't want to find yourself in a position where you have to log into 300 different email addresses to access all these different clients. So we just have I call it a container address, if that makes sense. You have a container address that you're just getting all of the access to. Makes sense, everybody? Jill, what's your current intake onboarding process like right now?
I want to sort of start using your stuff, but I haven't started. I've got my own I've got my own proposal. I've got my own scope document and stuff that I've really had over the last 2-3 years, but some of this stuff's brilliant. So I'd like to sort of change over and, just do a slow transaction over. And we're starting to use GHL as well. So hopefully we'll be using sort of the whole lot, really. But it's really
Nice.
good. I mean, we do get people to fill in like website requirement form, scope document, and we do agree on what date it's going to be finished and all that sort of stuff. We've done it for about 3 years now, and it does work well.
Okay, cool. What about you, Norm? You have a process right now for your onboarding?
I have a similar process, and of course, I'm borrowing stuff from you, but I basically After I do the sale, I send a summary to people. I give them all the things that they should be filling out for us, like their logins and all that kind of stuff. Add SEOS@normthomas.com as a manager, and then the operations manager will follow up with the payment, thank you, and all that kind of stuff. And then the project manager takes it away, right? But I wanted to add that until you're up where Nick is, like, you are the job of you clarifying everything for your team. It is so important because along the way they go over speed bumps, and your team's not used to like 10 projects coming in their face every week. So you gotta the things Nick is going over today, they're so key. And I'm like looking at them while there's a customer calling me on the other line, but this part of it's super important, and I'm gonna have to rewatch it after. But as you know, Nick, I've been like chasing people. I meet people every morning at 7 a.m. I got 18 people coming at me with different inquiries, and so just ironing it all out is a little bit hectic until you get that well-oiled machine, right? So
Yeah.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
Yeah, no worries. Yeah, it's a good point, right? Like, I want everybody to look at what I'm doing here and, not get overwhelmed. Like, there's no, like, I didn't start here, right? I didn't start with a team doing all the little things that understood everything that was going on and, selling multiple different services and having each one optimized in a way that worked really well. I started with one thing. I started with building a website. That was my first client. I got one website client, and then I got another one, and then I got another one. And then I built all of them myself, and then when I realized that I could have somebody help me build these websites, then I could just focus on getting more clients and giving them to my website builder. And then I started to streamline that process. And then I systemized that process. And then I realized, well, after I start building websites, what's the next step? The next step is to try to get them on some sort of monthly retainer. So then I start to learn about search engine optimization. What you're seeing right now is a culmination. It's like a symphony, like an orchestra. It's all working together in fluid motion and properly, So this is kind of the end result. Some of you again are there, others are not. If you're just starting, you're just looking for the one service that you're offering. You're going to get some wins. You're going to start to systemize. You're going to keep building. You're going to keep asking questions in Slack. You're going to keep coming to these calls, asking more questions. And we're going to keep growing from there. And like Norm said, my day-to-day in my agency right now is really like a CEO, right? I see what's going on. I see the messaging going from the salespeople to the project management to the fulfillment. And I check in, here and there. I check in the morning. I check in at the end of the day. Sometimes I answer questions. But other than that, I'm just kind of making sure the translation is right and everybody's asking the right questions and they have what they need, and it's running as I would run it, and so that's the end goal. That's what you want to be doing, and that will allow you to have that freedom to kind of, if you want to work all day, work all day. If you want to travel and work, you can do that. Or if you want to spend time with your family, then that's where you get that freedom though, right? With these types of systems. So like I said, after this call, what I'm going to do is I'm going to put this recording in your members area, and I'm going to have Kai send out a link to where that's at. And then we'll put all of the forms underneath that video. I was trying to add the forms in a way that you all could download them and make a copy, but I couldn't get it right before the call because these are all new forms. And, just a reminder as people that are in this community, right? Like I built out these new forms for a reason, because the old way, which you all have access to as well, is, if I go to my SOP folder here, and I go to the onboarding forms, or sorry, if I go to the SOPs, and I go to the project management, you'll see a folder that's called old. These are the old onboarding SOPs where we asked for all of the access and information through individual emails. And this way works too. This way is fine, but we're continuing to optimize. We're continuing to get better. And as people in this community, like, when we need to build out a form because these onboarding emails are taking a lot of time and it's one extra step that somebody has to do many, many times, we can replace that with a form. I'm going to give you all the forms. So I didn't have all those forms ready to go before this call, but I wanted to give you this information and let you know that the forms will be below it. So let's see. I think that was my last slide. If anybody has any questions on some of this stuff or any questions on what they're working on or action items or anything like that that they want to talk about, I think we can open it up. I see Norm's got his hand up.
Yeah, I got a question about the specific project manager. Do you have a full breakdown of like the day-to-day role? And, you know, obviously there's the SOP for intaking new clients and all that kind of stuff, but is there like an accountability checklist you have like for them day to day? I'm creating one, but I'm wondering if you have one so I can copy it and steal it and all that good stuff.
So I think one of the things that I have for you that will be helpful was from time to time, what we will do is we will do, like when we created all of our SOPs, our original SOPs, we had everybody on our team, project manager included, fill out a workload tracker, right? Let me show you actually, because I have it right here ready to go, which was something that, you know, throughout your day-to-day, we need to find out what everybody's doing step by step. And once we have all that logged down and in front of us, then we can figure out what we need to analyze, what we need to systemize, what we can outsource, what we can bring somebody else in to replace. So I can give you Adriana's workload tracker that she created, right? And I encourage you to do this for yourself, Norm, and everybody else in your team that is a core person as well, because the other things that go with this, and I actually have a video in your members area about setting up one of these workload trackers. It's not only just documenting the various things that they do every day, because that's what you're originally looking for. You just want to know what they do. This is what she does, but also give me the feelings about how you feel about those various things that you do. Do they energize you? Do they drain you? Do you not look forward to doing those things every day? Because all those things that drain somebody, those are the ones that maybe we can get somebody else to do that is more of an office person, that is more of an administrative person, or maybe more, if it's the client focused stuff that drains them, well, then let's bring in a client focused person to help replace those things. But really what we want to do is we want to create a good work environment for everybody so they can look forward to coming in each day and do project management or whatever it is that their role is. So would this be helpful, Norm?
Hell yeah.
Okay, let me put the link. You just make a copy of it for yourself. Throw this in the chat.
Thank you.
Yeah. But yeah, essentially, this is basically everything that she does in a day for like a week or two. She just wrote it down. So, you know, that'll help you put together a description of things that need to get done. And you might have other things in your business that I don't have and vice versa. We might be doing things that you're not doing. But it's a good place to start. Anything else on that one? No? Okay. Let's see. Dan, you had a question that you asked the other day. Are you still working on that? Let me pull it up. It's slipping my... You said you had a solar client. How's that going? The solar client is having supply chain issues like the rest of the world right now.
Yeah, I did check it out, and yeah, like you said, yeah, the rest of the world, but particularly solar panels, there seems to be an issue. So they're saying that unless you're one of the big boys, you who stock up, they're gonna be having issues. So they don't want to continue with the SEO, and they want to do their own AdWords management. Then I started talking about retargeting and doing cold and retargeting traffic. So they're considering that, but I haven't heard anything back from them. So.
Okay, nice. I like that you're trying to find other ways to provide them with value and help them.
Yeah. So they need to follow up. I had a good conversation. They said, "Oh, we'll talk about it with his wife, who does the management. We'll get back to you," kind of thing. You know, so they haven't so far. They may get back to me tomorrow, but I doubt it. So I guess it just needs at some point a follow up. Yeah.
I wonder what other solar companies are doing too in your area though. You know, like there is something to be said for maybe doing a little bit more market research too, because you know, I'm sure there are other solar companies that are struggling, and are they pivoting in some way too? You know, are they not buying from this brand and buying from a different brand, or you know, I don't know exactly what it is, but you know, some of that, and I'm sure they're doing some research on their end. They have to be, but you know, if you really wanted to keep this client on, like that kind of thing might help you, giving them a little more intel.
Yeah, because I was about to start the Facebook ads and going after more solar clients because I got their pay way down for what they were paying with the other pages. So yeah, and I figure, okay, but if I do that, at least I'll be able to start conversations with a few of them, not spend too much money, I guess, and just have a few conversations and I'll find out that way. Or another way is to find a few that solar companies that are doing ads and then call them up and using the what I'm learning with David Spragg and how to talk to those companies that are doing AdWords and having a traffic conversation. But yeah, I think you're right. I think I need to have more conversations with the solar companies.
Yeah.
Before I write it off.
You know, other companies too. If you were to do outreach to other, like, because you have that ad campaign ready to go, and I would hate to see, you know, your work just kind of be lost there. You know, you might find out that it's only your solar client that's having these issues, or not everybody, or maybe just a small amount of them. And, you know, or maybe, I mean, you could start marketing to, you know, a different location where these issues aren't coming from. So if you were to call a few of them and, you know, say, hey, you know, I'm Dan, I do marketing for solar companies, blah, blah, blah. Have you guys been seeing some supply chain issues in this specific market? And some of them might say no, you know, and that information might be valuable to you and allow you to make a decision on, should I turn my ads on, you know, something like that.
I'll do that. All right,
cool. I want to check in with Marco. Marco, how are things going? How's business?
Hi, business. Well, I'm just starting, and as you know, I'm prepared. I have a meeting with the leads on Monday, so
nice.
I'm trying to prepare things. It's an hotel owner, and we have talked previously, and he seems to want to let me manage 2 of their websites because they have several hotels. So I'm going to this meeting and I'm trying to prepare and do some audits of the websites to go there with some data and see how it goes there.
Okay. Nice. Yeah. And so is that going to be the meeting you have? Is that for a reputation client? I think you mentioned that before.
No, it's not for a reputation client. It's I met this guy in a trip, and we were talking, and I explained about what I do, and he was interested. And he said he had these 2 websites so that I could look at it, and then we could talk now. And now is the second conversation. So I want to go there with enough data to say, hey, your website has these issues, your SEO have problems, you also have problems in reputation, social media. So I'm trying to look at all these aspects to see what can I go there and tell him, and see what he's interested in start working with, so that I can then do a proposal for them in that.
Okay. So now I understand. That's why you're asking about the auditing information, because you were going to do a little bit of an audit for them. Okay. Awesome. Well, let me know how it goes. Let me know if you have any questions. Did you hear that? Did you watch that video about where I did that director's cut video where I sold that customer on the Google Ads, but I actually paused the video and then explain why I say those things at that time in that sales process? Did you see that one?
No, I haven't seen that one. No,
okay, I'm gonna send you that video. It might be helpful for you before you get on the phone with, or you meet them for this next project.
Yeah. one thing I'm struggling with, Nick, is pricing, because
Okay.
I haven't been able to go over the content because this came just
Sure.
and I just I'm having some issues with pricing and how to price my services. Maybe I will send you a message in my private Slack channel so that
Yeah,
you can with that.
of course. You know you have access to my pricing that I use right now, right?
Yeah, I do.
You've seen this?
Yes, I have seen it. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. And you know, you don't have to start with this pricing, but this will just give you a good idea. But yeah, any questions you have on pricing, post them in your channel. I'm happy to help you for sure.
Yeah. All right.
Okay, cool. Let's see. Craig, how's everything going with you?
Yeah, it feels a bit all over the place. I've got a few people who I'm waiting to hear back from. Someone was really interested in a website, but he's had a big project this week, so he said he'd get back to me by the end of the week. So there might be a website, and then somebody. I've spoken to a few people who have had SEO done, but really cheap, like £120 a month, and I'm like, I don't understand.
What are they even doing?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's kind of why they're talking to me, because they've come to this realization that they're spending £120 on nothing.
Right.
But at the same time, to then turn around and say, well, yeah, but that's because they're not doing anything because you're hardly paying anything. It's been a hard conversation. But one of them is thinking about pulling up doing PPC ads because the video isn't working. But it's this really strange thing where several people now, they don't want to phone their SEO company because they don't want to have that conversation and get, like, I don't know, conned into doing more or spending more or something. And they've got the SEO company have got detailed, like they've built the website and they don't have access, and yeah, it's this really messy messy thing. It seems like several people in the last 2 weeks have been in that situation where the person built their website and never gave them access to it. So yeah, just kind of trying to negotiate and navigate through that. Yeah, and everything else. And then I was really annoyed because I realized this week that I don't know how to use Go High Level as well as I thought. And so
I don't think anybody does.
I found like 2 emails that were saying, oh, I need help, but they're from like a month ago. And somebody even went on my website and filled a form out, but I didn't have it set up to notify me. And again, it's from like 3 weeks ago. So I'm like going back and contacting people now, but it's like not relevant anymore because they're, at the time they were like, yeah, we want to sort out now, but 2 weeks later, 3 weeks later, they're like, meh. So it's just figure out how to get on top of seeing those emails and seeing the forms and just actually responding to the things that need responding. So
yeah. The thing is like with High Level, like, because it's so many things, it's very robust, right? It's email marketing, it's a CRM, it's forms, it's a website. It can be easy to get in there and be like a kid in a candy store, and you see all these things and get overwhelmed because you have to learn this and this and this and this and this, but if it was any other tool, if it was just Pipedrive, all you would have to do is learn how to use the pipeline function. If it was just email marketing, you would just have to learn the email marketing. But because it's everything, there's so much you can do. I would encourage all of you to, like, and I feel this way. I'm not a Go High Level master. I just know the things that I have needed. I know how to do the things that I have needed. And that's the way that I've approached it. If I need to figure out how to build a landing page, then I will look into how to use the funnel builder, right? If I need to start doing email marketing, that's when I start learning about email marketing. I'm not going to go in there and try to learn how to become a Go High Level master out of the gate because there's just way too much. There's just way too much and it's not necessary. I don't need it yet. But it's there when you need it, right? That's the way you should look at it. And so, Craig, it sounds like, you're in a position now where you may need to spend a little more time with some of the website and automation functions, right? Where you can look at your forms, you can look at your automations to give you better email notifications and those types of things. And then just learn those things and do them well and test them and then move on, right? Go back to getting clients, that kind of thing. So that's the way I would approach it. Thanks, Norm. Thanks. I see Norm's got to hop off. Appreciate you hanging out, Norm. And then the other thing about Craig that you said that people were having issues and they weren't getting access. So you had a couple of people that were good leads, but they were having issues with their former web developers or marketing company. Is that right?
Yeah, I've had 3 people that I've talked to in the last 2 weeks who don't they don't know what to do because they don't want to call their current web developer who's sold them an SEO package that isn't doing anything, but at the same time they're not happy, so they want some progress, but yeah, they're almost scared to call their SEO in case they sell them more stuff.
Well,
one other thing, who these salespeople are, I guess, but
one of the things that you might want to do is help give them support with that. One of the things that Tom used to do back in the day is a lot of business owners don't know about Google My Business and whatnot, and they get hit up from people saying, I will optimize your Google business profile and et cetera. And so Tom, a lot of the times would say, hey, when people call you about that, you can just send them my way. I'll talk to them for you. And so you could kind of do that same thing with the actual SEO client. You can say, hey, if you want, we can all 3 get on a Zoom call and we can find out a little more about what they're doing and I can help you get access to what you're looking for. Because sometimes they just don't know how to communicate that. And you might be able to do a better job than them at that. And so that might be something you could help them with just to get them over that hump to start working with you.
Yeah, that's a good idea.
Okay, cool. Well, yeah, let me know about the pricing. I'm happy to help in any way I can there, Craig. Let's see. I'm going to jump back over to Marco. He's got his hand back up.
Yeah, hi Nick. So today I was in the process of interviewing 2 persons for social media management. And actually, instead of using Upwork and some of the platforms that you guys use, I went to Fiverr. And I found the process there to be much more efficient because there you can see the price, exactly the price that they pay and so on. So my question is, because I know you guys promote other places to go to find talent, is there a problem with Fiverr or why don't you guys use it or recommend it?
So that's a good question. And I would agree with you that Fiverr can be challenging, especially I rarely ever use it. I very, very, very rarely and have used it very little over my entire career. There is a use case for it, but I have used it very little because a lot of times it's just not good, right? The quality is just not there. But to give you a little more information, I probably should ask, when you say you're looking for someone to do social media management, are you looking for somebody just to make social media posting for your clients?
To post and to create content also.
Okay. And I know you were asking about the recipe strategy in your Slack channel earlier. And so would they be following that kind of strategy to help with the posting?
Yes, right now I interviewed 2 candidates. I actually gave them a test, which is to do an audit of this client's social media account, and I'm waiting to get back to me and for me to choose one of them because one of them seems really good and I'm inclined to choose her. And then when I do that, then I will onboard her and go through the recipe and the SOP. to see how
Okay.
she works.
Okay. Yeah. My preference is to actually get somebody to work on a contractor basis for me. More, not completely in-house, but more of an in-house type person. Like, I will go to Upwork, I will go to Indeed, and I will find somebody that, has a general idea about social media, and I will train them to use the tools that I want. Richard's using social pilot. I've actually just started using social pilot. We've also used Bright Social. And so I will train them up to do that. And right now, what I'm offering for my social media people, I'm giving them 25% of the social media campaign to do all of the content curation and posting. And I'm giving them the percentage because that way it's in their best interest to do a good job, because if the client leaves, then they lose that percentage. And so, you might be able to offer them a little more, maybe you're giving them, 50%, I don't know. But yeah, when you find somebody that is just a little bit familiar with social media and you train them a little bit to do this and you give them that kind of a percentage deal, I think, have you offered that kind of a deal to somebody?
No, not yet.
Yeah, I would consider kind of doing that way. And I would consider, well, it sounds like you're already interviewing people on Upwork too, though, or have you not done that?
Yeah, I've done that. Actually, I have one person working for me from Upwork right now, which
Okay.
is the only. Yeah, so I've done that also.
Okay.
Not for social media, but for other services.
Okay. So you're familiar with the process then?
Yeah. Right.
Yeah. Did I help you with my response there?
Yes, we do. Yeah.
Okay. Just making sure. Okay. I want to check in with Mr. Richard Weiss. Richard, how's everything going with you?
Been going great. I've got, in fact, I have a client Zoom call in about 2 minutes. But
oh shit! What are we? Okay.
I've been doing some stuff a little differently than what you guys offer. I've got I kind of resurrect old leads for clients and then automate them, and been recovering a lot of lost business for them. It's some really low hanging fruit that's really easy to talk people into getting. And that's one of my primary products that I sell. I also do a lot of Google My Business, local SEO types of things. And I've been using some VAs for that for about a year now that have gotten pretty good at it. And so that part of my life has been pretty pleasant, actually. And I've been trying to pick up some new stuff from you and Tom and find some other areas to attack. And so in the last 3 weeks, I've been so damn busy, I haven't had a chance to branch out. I need to get some more help. And I'm in the process of recruiting some more people. Probably going to push towards some website builds. And that's always a good entree to business. It leads to lots of other things. And it's something I haven't done that much of probably in the last 5 years. So that's pretty much where I'm at.
Nice. Okay. And so are you doing all of the fulfillment stuff yourself right now?
Most of it, other than the local SEO, which I have somebody completely trained for, and working
Nice.
on. I've got a couple of applicants for the website builds that I've been interviewing and trying to narrow them down, find somebody that I feel comfortable with.
Okay. Anybody you looking promising?
Yeah, I have 2 guys. One guy out of Pakistan who has quite a resume and
Nice.
pretty good communicator. Actually, a very good communicator, and I've been able to establish a good rapport with him. He's a little expensive, but I'll just charge the customer some more.
There you go. That's the way to do it.
Yeah.
So awesome. Well, what can I help you with? Is there one thing I can help you with right now the most, or anything you're struggling with, or questions or anything?
Not at the moment. I'm pretty clear about where I'm going, what I'm doing.
Okay, awesome. Well, I know you're relatively new to Remote Millionaire. So one thing I would encourage as we go through this process is use that private Slack channel that we have together. You know, obviously these calls are great and we workshop stuff at a group level and we talk and we hang out and they're all recorded. But as you know, with your hiring, you might have questions. You know, is this person legit? What should I be paying them? You know, use that Slack channel that you have with Tom and I. That's, you know, I keep a close eye on all that. My team does, Tom does too. So, you know, you might make any questions there. We're there to help support you. And so I want to help you skip any of the guesswork that you have as you go along that process and building your team and start to optimize and systemize and do more outsourcing. Okay.
I appreciate it.
Yeah, of course.
I got to roll. I'm late for a meeting.
All right, go get them. Let us know how it goes.
Appreciate it. Look forward to getting,
Okay.
I look forward to getting those forms that you were going to post. That looks pretty useful, the onboarding stuff.
Oh yeah, you'll get them. They'll be up there later today.
Okay, great. Thanks so much.
All right, no problem.
Gotta go.
All right, see ya. All right, let's I want to jump back over to Dennis real quick. So you there, Dennis?
Yes.
Okay, awesome. So you had your call with Tom. Was that today?
Yes, yeah, that's why I was a little bit late.
Okay.
I just came from his call. It was a very nice conversation. He helped me a lot, and I think I get the message. It's time to start calling.
Okay. Yeah. All right. Well, awesome. Well, so are you clear on what your next action steps are?
Yeah, I talked to him about it, and I'm at the point I need some cash to get more to get a bigger credit card, because everything in Upwork and software and all that stuff, it's all through Visa. And here in Belgium, the normal limit is 1,500, so 1,500 euros. So I last week or 2 weeks ago, I asked my bank to make that a little higher, and they only went to 2K. So with 2K, you can't really you can't really pay everybody, and because that's monthly. So so now I need quick cash to get blocked and to get it blocked in the bank, so I can talk to the banker about getting that up to like 10K or something, so that I can really use it and really work with it. So now I'm a bit blocked because of that. I can't. I get payments that not going through just because of the limit. It's really annoying. So I talked to it about Tom, and yeah, the solution might be to sell things that I don't need Upwork for, like the jackpots home services. That's I already paid guys from Upwork to do everything. That was like my test case for them. So I have every site, every service is translated and everything in Dutch for me, and ready to go actually. So that's what I need to go selling now to get to a quick like 10K or something to just park on the bank.
Yeah, I understand. Well, yeah, that's a great service to be you know, going out there and getting some quick wins like you mentioned. I know Dan, who's on this call too, he's had a lot of success, especially when he first started. I think that was the first thing that he was offering was the home services jackpot strategy. So you know, and a lot of other people too, Norm as well. And so, yeah, if you just focused on that and you stayed consistent on it, I bet you would get some wins.
I will need to do that the first couple of weeks, I think. I have other customers, so I still need to do stuff over there, but I will quit. I was paying for leads, but that were sucky leads, bad leads. So I will quit those things and go all in on the home services for like 2 weeks or something and see what happens.
Okay. Awesome. Well, let me know if you have any questions. If you get any, objections or anything like that, just make sure to, you're already familiar with posting and asking questions in Slack, so just keep doing that.
Okay.
Okay. Thanks, Dennis.
Sorry about that.
No, no, but I didn't mean it that way. I meant like, that's good. Keep doing that. Keep doing
Okay.
Richie, what else is going on with you, man?
Lots.
Yeah.
I just scanned that QR code behind you, Dennis, and mate, your website's really professional. That's really slick, mate. Well done. So, mate, you'll kill it in this program. One thing I found when I came into this program is I saved about $600 a month in subscription stuff I did not need anymore. So, get ready for that, because that Go High Level system and the tools available in this, there's a whole lot of stuff, mate. You just chuck it out. You don't need it anymore. It's all here. It's a one-stop shop.
Nice. Yeah. It really is.
So, so Dennis, Marco, welcome along. Good to see you guys. It's always good to have some new guys around. But Nick, mate, you went to Social Pilot, mate. I could have given you a link.
Oh shit, that's right. I'm sorry. Yeah, that's right. I didn't even think about that.
Actually, I had to jump up and down with them for over a month to become an affiliate. And
oh, really?
Yeah, mate. And actually, I wound up reaching out to one of the guys that created it, one of the owners of Social Pilot, and he's based in Kentucky. And I reached out to him, and 15 minutes later, he had it sorted out for me, because I've been asking for week after week after week, and they're actually changing their affiliate provider from one to another. That was the problem. It got fallen through the cracks, But I love it. It's something I've been working on the last 6 weeks, is developing my own social media training course, which with our prospecting system going from a free listing to a premium, you get access to this, because I've spent a lot of time in the last 18 months doing social media posting, creating content and those things. And I got to the point where it was a case of like expanding those customers here locally, so I could leave someone in it full time, and it would pay good money for them and for me as well. But it would be able to sustain them by having that. So I had to really double my local customers for the video creation stuff, and I went out to do that. And the one thing I started hearing from these customers was, things are getting a bit tighter here in New Zealand, and it's a luxury service to have, and a lot of them have got someone in the business who can do the posting on social media. The problem is they just don't know how to make it look professional, and I look at these businesses that I follow on Facebook and the likes, and the stuff that they're putting on is just hopeless, absolutely hopeless. And I got a couple of really good examples. A mate of mine's got a bar in Nelson, and his wife, made up this post, and it was flames and things in the background, and it was burger and beer night on Thursdays. Had nothing to do with flames, and it had a picture of a burger and a picture of a beer, and it was just all this text, and it was just joke. So I remade it for him and put his logo in it, put it with his logo colors. It took away the flames, which it didn't need, and just made it look a lot cleaner and sharper, instead of actually said, look, here's what we do, So the desire for a 12-step course as to how you make a post look professional and represent your business well, and then and through that was a case of reselling things like Design Space, which is a mate of mine built that here in New Zealand. It's like Kavnar. It's basically exactly the same as Kavnar. So he's got that. So I'm an affiliate for that, and I'm sort of been working with him very closely. And so you get a free Design Space account when you sign up to my course, and then I affiliate Social Pilot, so that we go through the training into how you make a lot of content, but how, more importantly, you take a staff member in your business and you teach them. So every Monday between 1 and 2 o'clock, they're going to do the social media for the week, or every month they're going to plan the month in advance, and create the stuff that's needed for that. And so that a business, it's a valuable resource to a business to have that taken care of. But I've found personally, if I'm doing social media posts and I've got my team doing them and stuff as well, I'm always fixing errors. The amount of time and energy I had to put into fixing stuff, like something's misspelt, something doesn't look right, it's the wrong logo, it's the wrong colors, And that's what I found using a contractor. even though you try and be as precise as you can with the information, you spend too much time on it. There's no money in it. You know, and then what you're charging a month to do posting for someone, you're not making any money. It's a lot better to go and sell a $700 website than it is to do a month of social media management for a customer, you know, for $800-900. It's there's a lot more money in it doing it the other way. So that's why I wanted to get it to at the stage where I'm teaching people how to do it themselves, but we're the resource that they use. And then when it comes to, hey, I want to do a video, I want to make a video every week, fine. This is how you shoot it on your cell phone. They send that to us. We put graphics in it and stuff. So, you know, we get $50-60 for turning something around. We can do 20 a night. And and also consistency is the big one with social media, where if you got to sort of keep it looking the same, but getting the message across. You know, you want to have your brand, you want to have the right colors, you know, those. So we make templates for all of our posting, and that's part of the deal, is that, you know, you come on board with us as a premium listing from buy local directories. You know, we will make you a set of templates for free. That's just part of the deal. It's part of the $600 worth of value you get for coming over to us. You know, then we're going to give you this course which shows you how to create a post and make it effective. And we're going to give you the ability to buy these tools which you can use all the time, or have a staff member use to keep it up here, because a lot of people get focused on social media and 2 weeks later they've forgotten all about it. They start and they never finish. And I'd love an agency to come along and do it for you, but as I say, I don't think there's money in it. I think it's a bad service to be offering. So and that's why I love Bright Social right from the get-go, because that did it for you. But honestly, I found just over time the content just doesn't hit the mark. People don't want quote of the day. They don't want those flowery, rubbishy things and that. And I just found that no matter how you got into it, you just spend so much time on it, you may as well make it yourself. And so that was the problem with it. And then I found it a bit buggy and stuff as well. So yeah, I gave it a really good go, Bright Social. I mean, I spent almost 12 months on it, and really pushed it as hard as I could, but just didn't. It doesn't fit the market. That's outside of America. So yeah.
I can see the challenge in you know, in geographics. I mean, definitely. You know, one thing that I agree with you. The social media posting, like the way it works at scale is by having one really good person that can do all the curation and all the management for you, and you pay that person whatever, maybe like a little bit of a base, and then you give them a little percentage of whatever clients they have. That way they can be incentivized to make them happy. But if you have that one person that, you know, like English is their native language, you know, they're making decent money and they're managing, you know, 5, 10, 15 social accounts and overseeing all the posting, that's where it works, because you can have that person that's like, you know, a manager at that point doing that. But if you're, you know, if you're doing 1, 2 clients and you're really trying to scale, at that point, it doesn't work well unless you're just doing it yourself and you don't have a lot of clients. And that's like your foot in the door to actually get some revenue. That also works. But like you already have a lot of other stuff going on. So it becomes a difference of, you know, opportunity cost, you know, of like working really, you have other ways to make money that are more valuable, and you're trying to find where's the best leverage, you know. So
that's the thing that I found, is that I got 11 social media customers at that was the biggest number we had, was 11, but I was spending, you know, 20 to 30 hours of my week on social media stuff, you know, and I was always fixing something. Every day I was having to fix something. I was always getting a text message saying, oh, this doesn't look right, or that's wrong, you know. And then the other one is that, you know, 3 or 4 of them were really good friends of mine, you know, so they'd text me at 8 o'clock at night, oh, we need to get this on social media, you know, and I had to back out of it, you know, and so effectively I've shut down our social media thing, and it was at the detriment of doing a lot of other things. You know, I didn't run with Home Services Jackpot when it came out because I was too busy doing social media stuff. I had no time for it, you know, and so I've you know, really made the switch over the last 2 months to getting rid of the unprofitable things and focusing on the really profitable stuff, because as you know, I've only got a limited amount of time left here, and then, you know, everything changes again. So I'm really keen on just making sure the prospecting wheel works without squeaking, and just driving those sort of key services that I can leave in New Zealand and administer from overseas as well, you know. So that's the aim. but it's takes time and everything else as well. One thing I did want to ask you about was and I think it was Dan before who was saying he's set up that what's the name, paid ad. So what's the
yes, Dan was trying to, Dan was thinking about running his solar paid ad campaign.
Yeah, so I mean that's and I'm very keen on getting one of those done in the next couple of weeks. Only because I just want to make sure I got one under my belt before I arrive in the States. So that'd be pretty handy if you can give us a bit of direction for that one.
Yeah. Well, all that training is there and ready to go. So you just got to go in there and you can get it up in an afternoon or two.
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
What else did I have? I did have something else I had to tell you, but it has escaped my mind.
Throw it in Slack if it comes back.
Yeah, man. No worries at all.
Okay. Cool.
Let's
jump over to Bill real quick. Bill?
Hey, Nick.
How are you?
I'm all right. Just still juggling these project jobs, trying to get everybody
trucking along.
Yeah. It's kind of slowed down a little bit as far as quoting, which is a good thing because I was starting to get both my teams are starting to get too full. As a matter of fact, one of my teams said they can't do anything right now until they get some of these other jobs done. So, so we're in the process of looking at finding
Sorry, I just muted him.
We're in the process of maybe looking at trying to get another team on board, but with this type of work that I do, it's such a struggle because number one, a lot of times their pricing is way too high compared to what I like to price out. And then two, there's so many out there that are just so flaky, but we'll get there.
Yeah. Are you doing when you're hiring people to help you, are you looking for people to work remotely, or are you doing in-person stuff?
Oh, it's all overseas. It's
overseas.
I can't afford doing anything local. The average, I mean, the average guy that, say if I hired somebody local here, they charge anywhere from $90 to $100 an hour.
Wow.
And overseas, I can get it done for like $10 to $15 an hour. So,
okay.
So nice. It's not, I can't afford anybody to do it over here. And
yeah, no, I get it. So are you looking to hire more people then right now, or are you kind of happy where you're at?
We're looking. I mean, I'm getting some good thing about this too. A lot of times I don't have to actually go look. I get a lot of emails from on LinkedIn as well, people asking for me to bring them on board. But one of the other challenges that I have, the software that we have to use, it has to be licensed. And like for each seat, it's like for Techless software, it's almost $100,000 a seat. So
Jesus.
A lot of guys will use what they call pirating software, and I can't. I can't use them because if I get caught using somebody like that, I can go to jail.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. It's not really an option to go to jail. So, gotcha. All right. Well, yeah, man. Is there anything else that anything you're struggling with, or anything you got going on I can help you with?
No, I mean, as far as that goes, we're doing okay. It's just wish I had more time to work on the marketing portion of my stuff. I'm just trying to get that leveled out to where I can get back into working on my lead sites and things like that. With the SEO on that it's proven to be kind of a challenge for me because obviously I'm new, so I'm trying to learn, but it's not moving up as fast as I like it would, but that's okay. I mean, to me, it's a learning process. So
yeah, I mean, as long as you're learning more information, you're you're putting things in process, you're taking action, and you're monitoring it. Like that's what SEO is really all about. Really, it's it's like in jujitsu, they say there's no shortcut for time on the mat. Like you can just see it. If there's somebody that they haven't spent very much time on the mat, they're going to get choked out by everybody in 5 minutes. And if you spend 3,000 hours on the mat, then it'll show. So just like with SEO, like there's no shortcut for just tracking rankings. Just doing it. You got to be in there. So yeah, you'll get more comfortable with it, man.
Yeah, and then the biggest challenge I have on the project management stuff is just getting paid. I mean, like all those sales that I made in the last 6 months, now I'm starting to get stuff done, and I've invoiced, and it's like crickets when you try to ask for money. I mean, why
don't you charge more up front?
I do. We charge them 80% up front.
Okay.
But the minute you start dragging your feet, like I don't try to release anything final until I get that payment.
Yeah.
Well, the minute, like for example, this new customer that we just signed on, I'd mentioned that, hey, I need to get some of the invoices caught up before I can, and I always play it out, my team's not going to give me the drawings. I don't want to hear that. I don't want to hear that. If you're going to start playing that game with me, then I'm done. I'm gone. I'll see you later. You can just cancel all my projects. Well, I'm already into him for thousands of dollars, so I can't really go anywhere. So then they know that. So it's kind of just a game that you have to play with contractors. I mean, they're just they're notorious to be known as liars. So
sounds like you need to have good contracts for that type of project. Good contracts.
Yeah, but then if you start throwing up contracts, they won't sign them. So it's just a game, but it's part of it. I've been doing it for 30-something years. You just gotta.
Yeah. Well, I mean, whatever you're doing is working. You're getting a lot of clients. So
I get the clients, but it just me being with a partner. If it was just me, I wouldn't have nearly the concerns. But my partner, he's freaking out and saying, because I'm the only one that deals with the customers, and but it's good. I mean, we'll get there.
Yeah. All right. Well, I appreciate you checking in. Well, we got to everybody.
Didn't want to come across as a downer on that, Nick. So
No, you're not. You're
just the struggles,
Yeah. Listen, it's always all about optimizing. Some days are up, some days are down, and you know what? Some days you'll be up and you'll get one freaking email and it'll just bring you right down. So it's just what happens. And as the leader in your business and in your company, like you just got to keep that shit pointed straight. That's what it is. Keep the shit pointed north. So.
Hey, Bill. Well, I've got something that might help you with that payment problem. I use a product here in New Zealand called Xero, Xero, and it sends invoice reminders, and what it does, it pretty much badges the person until they pay. So you send a digital invoice, and if it's due in 7 days and it gets to the 8th day and it hasn't been paid, or you haven't gone in and said it's been paid, then once it hits that, it automatically sends an invoice saying, hey, this was due a day ago. And then 3 days later, it sends another one. And then 3 days later, it sends another one. It just keeps going. And it drives people insane that they just keep on getting this invoice. And the best part is you load it up so that you might send the invoice to an accounts department. But the owner of the business, once it's been overdue for 10 or 20 days, he starts getting the invoices every 3 days, the reminder. And you put their email into it, and mate, it works very, very well. We have 1% debtors, it's we get paid, because it's a great system. So I don't know if QuickBooks has the same option, because I certainly haven't seen the use of Xero in the States. It's big in Aussie and Europe and stuff. You can use it over there, but I think QuickBooks sort of owns the market in the States. But if they have the same function, by all means, just do that, because that'll get you paid.
Okay, I'll look into that. Appreciate the help.
Yeah. And Dennis said you could use that and go high level. You definitely could set up reminders like that and go high level. We do it all the time. Yeah. So reminders would be a good way to do that. Richie said that he's got a podcast coming up. So Richie, make sure to share that, man, when you get it. I'm excited to hear more about it.
Yeah, it's been a work in progress, but I've thought that, it's a great way to tout your agency, if you like, just to say, hey, look, talk to business owners and those things, and you got to start it. So you got to make a start. You can't have a big successful something without starting somewhere first. So taking the first step, set it all up, and this weekend I'm going to shoot my my first one, and then we'll sort of keep on doing the weekly. So yeah, good times.
Nice. Okay. Well, keep me posted. Let me know how it goes. And appreciate you all being here. Got to jump on the next call, but it was a really good one. I'm going to Kai's going to help me put this in the members area. It'll be under that section about with all the SOPs. I'm going to add the forms, and you can all get them there. So with that, everybody, I appreciate you all being here. It was a great call. And if you need anything, just let me know in Slack. Happy to help out in any way I can. I'll talk to you all soon. Take care.